Welcome back to Yehusha's Glory. We are in the book of Jubilees. I'm going to read chapter 30 on page 242. And if you want to read along in this affair, I'm not sure if I read chapter 30 last time. It's been a long time since I did a video, and I thought I'd get out here and do one now. Just been swamped with a lot of stuff. But I'm caught up a bit, and I thought today would be a great day to do a video. So here we go. Chapter 30, page 242, Jubilees. And in the first year of the 6th week, he went up to Shalem, to the east of Shechem, in peace, in the 4th month. And there they carried off Dinah, the daughter of Yehusha, into the house of Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Chivi, the prince of the land. And he lay with her and defiled her, and she was a little girl, a girl of 12 years. And he besought his father and her brothers that she might be given to him to be his woman. And Yehusha and his sons were wroth because of the men of Shechem, for they had defiled Dinah, their sister. And they spoke to them with evil intent, and dealt deceitfully with them, and beguiled them. And Shimon and Levi came unexpectedly to Shechem, and executed judgment on all the men of Shechem, and slew all the men whom they found in it, and left not a single one remaining in it. They slew all in torments, because they had dishonored their sister Dinah. And thus let it not again be done from henceforth, that a daughter of Israel be defiled. For judgment is ordained in heaven against them, that they should destroy with the sword all the men of the Shikmaim, because they had wrought shame in Israel. And Yehusha delivered them into the hands of the sons of Yehusha, that they might exterminate them with the sword, and execute judgment upon them, and that it might not thus again be done in Israel, that a virgin of Israel should be defiled. And if there is any man who wishes in Israel to give his daughter or his sister to any man who is of the seed of the other people, he shall surely die. And they shall stone him with stones, for he has wrought shame in Israel. And they shall burn the woman with fire, because she has dishonored the name of the house of her father, and she shall be rooted out of Israel. And let not a woman that breaks wedlock, and no uncleanness, be found in Israel throughout all the days of the generations of the earth. For Israel is holy unto Yahuwah. And every man who has defiled it shall surely die. They shall stone him with stones, for thus it has been ordained and written in the heavenly tablets regarding all the seed of Israel. He who defiles it shall surely die, and he shall be stoned with stones. And to this Torah there is no limit of days, and no remission, nor any atonement. But the man who has defiled his daughter shall be rooted out in the midst of all Israel, because he has given of his seed to Molech, and wrought impiously so as to defile it. And do you, Moshe, command the children of Israel, and exhort them not to give their daughters to the other people, and not to take for their sons any of the daughters of the other people, for this is abominable before Yahuwah. For this reason I have written for you in the words of the Torah all the deeds of the Shikmaim, which they wrought against Dinah, and how the sons of Yehusha spoke, saying, we will not give our daughter to a man who is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. And it is a reproach to Israel, to those who live, and to those that take the daughters of the other people, for this is unclean and abominable to Israel. And Israel will not be free from this uncleanness if it has a woman of the daughters of the other people, or has given any of its daughters to a man who is of any of the other people. For there will be plague upon plague, and curse upon curse, and every judgment and plague and curse will come, if he do this thing or hide his eyes from those who commit uncleanness, or those who defile the sanctuary of Yahuwah, or those who profane his holy name, then will the whole nation together be judged for all the uncleanness and profanation of this man. And there will be no respect of persons, and no consideration of persons, and no receiving at his hands of fruits and offerings, and burnt offerings and fat, nor the fragrance of sweet savor, so as to accept it. So fare every man or woman in Israel who defiles the sanctuary. For this reason I have commanded you, saying, testify this testimony to Israel. See how the Shikmaim fared and their sons, how they were delivered into the hands of 2 sons of Jacob, and they slew them under tortures, and it was reckoned unto them for righteousness, and it is written down to them for righteousness. And the seed of Levi was chosen for the priesthood, and to be Leviim, that they might minister before Yahuwah as we continually, and that Levi and his sons may be blessed forever. For he was zealous to execute righteousness and judgment and vengeance on all those who arose against Israel. And so they inscribe as a testimony in his favor on the heavenly tablets, blessing and righteousness before the Elohim of all, and we remember the righteousness which the man fulfilled during his life at all periods of the year, until 1,000 generations they will record it, and it will come to him and to his descendants after him, and he has been recorded on the heavenly tablets as a friend and a righteous man. All this account I have written for you, and have commanded you to say to the children of Israel, that they should not commit sin, nor transgress the ordinances, nor break the covenant which has been ordained for them, but that they should fulfill it and be recorded as friends. But if they transgress and work uncleanness in every way, they will be recorded on the heavenly tablets as adversaries, and they will be destroyed out of the Sefer of life, and they will be recorded in the Sefer of those who will be destroyed, and with those who will be rooted out of the earth. And on the day when the sons of Jacob slew Shechem, a writing was recorded in their favor in heaven, that they had executed righteousness and uprightness and vengeance on the sinners. And it was written for a blessing. And they brought Dinah their sister out of the house of Shechem, and they took captive everything that was in Shechem, their sheep and their oxen and their asses and all their wealth and all their flocks, and brought them all to Yehusha their father. And he reproached them because they had put the city to the sword, for he feared those who dwelt in the land, the Kenaanim and the Perizim. And the dread of Yahuwah was upon all the cities which were around about Shechem, and they did not rise to pursue after the sons of Jacob, for terror had fallen upon them. Chapter 31. And on the new moon of the month, Jacob spoke to all the people of his house, saying, purify yourselves and change your garments, and let us arise and go up to Bethel, where I vowed a vow to him on the day when I fled from the face of Esau my brother, because he has been with me and brought me into this land in peace, and put ye away the strange Elohim that are among you. And they gave up the strange Elohim, and that which was in their ears, which was on their necks, and the idols which Rachel stole from Laban her father, she gave wholly to Jacob. And he burnt and broke them to pieces, and destroyed them, and hid them under an oak, which is in the land of Shechem. And he went up on the new moon of the 7th month to Bethel, and he built an altar at the place where he had slept, and he set up a pillar there, and he sent word to his father Yitzhak to come to him to his sacrifice, and to his mother Rivkah. And Yitzhak said, let my son Jacob come, and let me see him before I die. And Jacob went to his father Yitzhak and to his mother Rivkah to the house of his father Abraham. And he took 2 of his sons with him, Levi and Yehudah. And he came to his father Yitzhak and to his mother Rivkah. And Rivkah came forth from the tower to the front of it to kiss Jacob and embrace him. For her ruach had revived when she heard Behold, Jacob your son has come. And she kissed him, and she saw his 2 sons, and she recognized them, and said unto them, Are these your sons, my son? And she embraced them, and kissed them, and blessed them, saying, In you shall the seed of Abraham become illustrious, and ye shall prove a blessing on the earth. And Jacob went into Yitzhak his father, and the chamber where he lay, and his 2 sons were with him, and he took the hand of his father, and stooping down he kissed him, and Yitzhak clung to the neck of Jacob his son, and wept upon his neck, and the darkness left the eyes of Yitzhak. And he saw the 2 sons of Jacob, Levi and Yehuda, and he said, Are these your sons, my son? For they are like you. And he said unto him that they were truly his sons. And you have truly seen that they are truly my sons. And they came near to him, and he turned and kissed them, embraced them both together, and the ruach of prophecy came down into his mouth. And he took Levi by his right hand and Yehuda by his left. And he turned to Levi first and began to bless him first, and said unto him, May the Elohim of all, the very Yahuwah of all the ages, bless you and your children throughout all the ages. And may Yahuwah give to you and to your seed greatness and great glory, and cause you and your seed from among all flesh to approach him, to serve in his sanctuary as the angels of the presence and as the holy ones. Even as they shall the seed of your sons be for glory and greatness and holiness, and may he make them great unto all the ages. And they shall be judges and princes and chiefs of all the seed of the sons of Jacob. They shall speak the word of Yahuwah in righteousness, and they shall judge all his judgments in righteousness. And they shall declare my ways to Jacob, and my paths to Israel. The blessing of Yahuwah shall be given in their mouths, to bless all the seed of the beloved. Your mother has called your name Levi, and justly has she called your name. You shall be joined to Yahuwah, and be the companion of all the sons of Jacob. Let his table be yours, and do you and your sons eat thereof. And may your table be full unto all generations, and your food fail not unto all the ages. And let all who hate you fall down before you, and let all your adversaries be rooted out and perish. And blessed be he that blesses you, and cursed be every nation that curses you. And to Yehuda he said, May Yahuwah give you strength and power to tread down all that hate you. A prince shall you be, you and one of your sons over the sons of Jacob. May your name and the name of your sons go forth and traverse every land and region. Then shall the other people fear before your face, and all the nations shall quake, and all the peoples shall quake. In you shall be the help of Jacob, and in you be found the Yeshua of Yisrael. And when you sit on the throne of honor of your righteousness, there shall be great peace for all the seed of the sons of the beloved. Blessed be he that blesses you, and all that hate you and afflict you and curse you shall be rooted out and destroyed from the earth, and be accursed. And turning, he kissed him again and embraced him, and rejoiced greatly, for he had seen the sons of Jacob, his son, in very truth. And he went forth from between his feet, and fell down and bowed down to him. And he blessed them, and rested there with Yitzhak his father that night. And they ate and drank with joy. And he made the 2 sons of Jacob sleep, one on his right hand and one on his left. And it was counted to him for righteousness. And Jacob told his father everything during the night, how Yahuwah had shown him great mercy, and how he had prospered him in all his ways, and protected him from all evil. And Yitzhak blessed the Elohim of his father Abraham, who had not withdrawn his mercy and his righteousness from the sons of his servant Yitzhak. And in the morning Jacob told his father Yitzhak the vow which he had vowed to Yahuwah, and the vision which he had seen, and that he had built an altar, and that everything was ready for the sacrifice to be made before Yahuwah, as he had vowed, and that he had come to set him on an ass. And Isaac said unto Jacob his son, I am not able to go with you, for I am old and not able to bear the way. Go, my son, in peace, for I am 165 years this day. I am no longer able to journey. Set your mother on an ass and let her go with you. And I know, my son, that you have come on my account, and may this day be blessed on which you have seen me alive, and I also have seen you, my son. May you prosper and fulfill the vow which you have vowed, and put not off your vow, for you shall be called to account as touching the vow. Now therefore make haste to perform it, and may he be pleased who has made all things, to whom you have vowed the vow. And he said to Rivkah, Go with Jacob your son. And Rivkah went with Jacob her son, and Deborah with her. And they came to Bethel. And Jacob remembered the prayer with which his father had blessed him and his two sons, Levi and Yehuda. And he rejoiced and blessed the Elohim of his fathers, Abraham and Isaac. And he said, Now I know that I have an eternal hope, and my sons also before the Elohim of all. And thus it is ordained concerning the two. And they record it as an eternal testimony unto them on the heavenly tablets, how Isaac blessed them. And he abode that night at Bethel. Levi dreamt that they had ordained and made him the priest of Al-Helion, him and his sons forever. He awoke from his sleep and blessed Yahuwah, and Jacob rose early in the morning on the 14th of this month, and he gave a tithe of all that came with him, both of men, cattle, gold, every vessel and garment. Yea, he gave tithes of all. And in those days Rachel became pregnant with her son Benjamin. And Jacob counted his sons from him upwards, and Levi fell to the portion of Yahuwah, and his father clothed him in the garments of the priesthood and filled his hands. And on the 15th of this month, he brought to the altar 14 oxen from amongst the cattle, and 28 rams, and 49 sheep, and 70 lambs, and 21 kids of the goats of a burnt offering, as a burnt offering on the altar of sacrifice, well pleasing for a sweet savor before Elohim. This was his offering in consequence of the vow which he had vowed, that he would give a tenth with their fruit offerings and their drink offerings. And when the fire had consumed it, he burnt incense on the fire over the fire, and for a thank offering 2 oxen and 4 rams, 4 sheep, 4 he-goats, 2 sheep of a year old, and 2 kids of the goats. And thus he did daily for 7 days. And he and all his sons and his men were eating this with joy there during 7 days, and blessing and thanking Yahuwah, who had delivered him out of all his tribulation, and had given him his vow. And he tithed all the clean animals, and made a burnt sacrifice, but the unclean animals he gave not to Levi his son, and he gave him all the souls of the men. And Levi discharged the priestly office at Bethel before Jacob his father, in preference to his 10 brothers, and he was a priest there, and Jacob gave his vow. Thus he tithed again the tithe to Yahuwah, and sanctified it, and it became holy unto him. And for this reason it is ordained on the heavenly tablets as a Torah for the tithing again, the tithe to eat before Yahuwah from year to year, in the place where it is chosen that his name should dwell. And to this Torah there is no limit of days forever. This ordinance is written that it may be fulfilled from year to year in eating the second tithe before Yahuwah, in the place where it has been chosen. And nothing shall remain over it from this year to the year following. For in its year shall the seed be eaten till the days of the gathering of the seed of the year, and the wine till the days of the wine, and the oil till the days of its season, and all that is left thereof and becomes old, let it be regarded as polluted. Let it be burnt with fire, for it is unclean. And thus let them eat it together in the sanctuary, and let them not suffer it to become old. And all the tithes of the oxen and sheep, shall be holy unto Yehusha, and shall belong to his priests, which they will eat before him from year to year. For thus it is ordained and engraven regarding the tithe on the heavenly tablets. And on the following night, on the 22nd day of this month, Jacob resolved to build that place, and to surround the court with a wall, and to sanctify it, and to make it holy forever for himself and his children after him. And Yehusha appeared to him by night, and blessed him, and said unto him, Your name shall not be called Jacob, but Israel shall be your name. And he said unto him again, I am Yehusha, who created the heavens and the earth, and I will increase you and multiply you exceedingly, and kings shall come forth from you, and they shall judge everywhere, wherever the foot of the sons of men has trodden. And I will give to your seed all the earth which is under heaven, and they shall judge all the nations according to their desires. And after that they shall get possession of the whole earth, and inherit it forever. And he finished speaking with him. And he went up from him, and Jacob looked till he had ascended into heaven, and he saw in a vision of the night, and behold, an angel descended from heaven with 7 tablets in his hands, and he gave them to Jacob, and he read them, and knew all that was written therein, which would befall him and his sons throughout all the ages. And he showed him all that was written on the tablets, and said unto him, Do not build this place, and do not make it an eternal sanctuary, and do not dwell here, for this is not the place. Go to the house of Abraham your father, and dwell with Isaac your father until the day of the death of your father. For in Mitzrayim you shall die in peace, and in this land you shall be buried with honor in the sepulchre of your fathers, and Abraham and Isaac. Fear not, for as you have seen and read it, thus shall it all be, and do write down everything as you have seen and read. And Jacob said, Yehusha, how can I remember all that I have read and seen? And he said unto him, I will bring all things to your remembrance. And he went up from him, and he awoke from his sleep, and he remembered everything which he had read and seen. And he wrote down all the words which he had read and seen. And he celebrated there yet another day, and he sacrificed thereon according to all that he sacrificed on the former days, and called its name Addition. For this day was added, and the former days he called the feast. And thus it was manifested that it should be, and it is written on the heavenly tablets. Wherefore was revealed to him that he should celebrate it and add it to the 7 days of the feast. And its name was called Addition, because that it was recorded amongst the days of the feast days, according to the number of the days of the year. And in the night, on the 23rd of the month, Deborah, Rivkah's nurse, died. And they buried her beneath the city under the oak of the river. And he called the name of this place the river of Deborah, and the oak of the mourning of Deborah. And Rivkah went and returned to her house to his father Isaac, and Jacob sent by her hand rams and sheep and he-goats, that she should prepare a meal for his father, such as he desired. And he went after his mother, till he came to the land of Kebratan, and he dwelt there. And Rachel bore a son in the night, and called his name Son of My Sorrow, for she suffered in giving him birth. But his father called his name Benjamin. On the 11th and 8th month, in the first of the 6th week of this Jubilee. And Rachel died there, and she was buried in the land of Ephrathah, the same as Bethlehem. And Jacob built a pillar on the grave of Rachel on the road above her grave. And Jacob went and dwelt to the south of Magdal Ladreph, and he went to his father Isaac, he and Leah his woman, on the new moon of the 10th month. And Reuben saw Bilhah, Rachel's maid and concubine of his father, bathing in water in a secret place, and he loved her. And he hid himself at night, and he entered the house of Bilhah at night, and he found her sleeping alone on a bed in her house. And he lay with her, and she awoke and saw, and behold, Reuben was lying with her in the bed, and she uncovered the border of her covering, and seized him, and cried out and discovered that it was Reuben. And she was ashamed because of him, and released her hand from him, and he fled. And she lamented because of this thing exceedingly, and did not tell it to anyone. And when Jacob returned and sought her, she said unto him, I am not clean for you, for I have been defiled as regards you. For Reuben has defiled me, and has lain with me in the night, and I was asleep and did not discover until he uncovered my skirt and slept with me. And Jacob was exceedingly wroth with Reuben, because he had lain with Bilhah, because he had uncovered his father's skirt. And Jacob did not approach her again, because Reuben had defiled her. And as for any man who uncovers his father's skirt, his deed is wicked exceedingly, for he is abominable before Yehusha. For this reason it is written and ordained on the heavenly tablets that a man should not lie with his father's woman, and should not uncover his father's skirt, for this is unclean. They shall surely die together. The man who lies with his father's woman, and the woman also, for they have wrought uncleanness on the earth. And there shall be nothing unclean before the Elohim in the nation which he has chosen for himself as a possession. And again, it is written a second time, Cursed be he who lies with the woman of his father, for he has uncovered his father's shame. And all the Kodeshim of Yahuwah said, So be it, so be it. Do you, Moshe, command the children of Israel that they observe this word, for it entails a punishment of death, and it is unclean, and there is no atonement forever to atone for the man who has committed this, but he is to be put to death and slain and stoned with stones and rooted out from the midst of the people of the Elohim. For to no man who does so in Israel is it permitted to remain alive a single day on the earth, for he is abominable and unclean. And let them not say, To Reuben was granted life and forgiveness after he had lain with his father's concubine, and to her also, though she had a man, and her man Jacob, his father, was still alive. For until that time there had not been revealed the ordinance and judgment in Torah in its completeness for all, but in your days it has been revealed as a Torah of season and of days, and an everlasting Torah for the everlasting generations. And for this Torah there is no consummation of days and no atonement for it, but they must both be rooted out in the midst of the nation. On the day wherein they committed it, they shall slay them. And do you, Moshe, write it down for Israel, that they may observe it and do according to these words, and not commit a sin unto death, for Yahuwah Eloheinu is judge, who respects not persons, and accepts not gifts. And tell them these words of the covenant, that they may hear and observe and be on their guard with respect to them, and not be destroyed and rooted out of the land for an uncleanness and an abomination and a contamination and a pollution are all they who commit it on the earth before our Elohim. And there's no greater sin than the fornication which they commit on earth, for Israel is a holy nation unto Yahuwah its Elohim, and a nation of inheritance, and a priestly and royal nation for his own possession. And there shall no such uncleanness appear in the midst of the holy nation. And in the 3rd year of the 6th week, Jacob and all his sons went and dwelt in the house of Abraham, near Isaac his father, and Rivkah his mother. And these were the names of the sons of Jacob: the firstborn Reuben, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Zebulun, the sons of Leah, and the sons of Rachel, Joseph, Benjamin, and sons of Bilhah, Dan, and Naphtali, the sons of Zilpah, Gad, and Asher, Dinah, the daughter of Leah, the only daughter of Jacob. And they came and bowed themselves to Isaac and Rivkah. And when they saw them, they blessed Jacob and all his sons. And Isaac rejoiced exceedingly, for he saw the sons of Jacob, his younger son, and he blessed them. So I'm going to start right there. I'm going to stop right there. I think that's a pretty interesting part of the book that we just read. A lot of us make mistakes, and we do want forgiveness. This is Old Testament stuff, and I think that if we just ask Father to help us with any kind of urges like Reuben had, If you ask him in Yehusha's name to kind of just take control of you, every day will be a better day. Ask in Yehusha's name for help with any of your addictions. With Reuben, it was a sexual addiction, it looked like. But everybody has different kinds of addictions. So it's really important what we just read there. I want to thank you all very much for being here. And if you have any questions or concerns or anything, I love your comments. It makes me feel so good when you write. You say, wow, this is such a blessing. Thank you for doing this. And you know, I'm doing this for Father because I'm a terrible sinner. It's the least I can do, literally. It's the only little thing I do for him to glorify him. So don't thank me. Thank him for bringing us all together. That's Yahuwah, our Father in heaven, and Yehusha, our Messiah, our Savior. I love you all very much. Take care. I'll see you next time on Yehusha's Glory.